Hello, this is Mark. Welcome back again. So we see again once again. I think I look like shit now because I haven't slept for a while. Well, a couple of nights after Apple has released a number of things. I mean, almost simultaneously, iMacs and Mac Pro, and a number of my visitors, I mean, on YouTube, send me mail asking me whether they should go for the least expensive Mac Pros or buy the top of the line iMacs or something because the top of the line iMac is 2,000 US dollars, and also the entry level, the cheapest one for the Mac Pro is 2,500 US dollars. So 500 US dollars more. What should they do? Okay, let me clarify briefly. Firstly, in terms of the processor, in terms of the graphic card, they are almost pretty much the same. But you know what? Don't miss something. Don't be negligent. Because the thing is, the bus speed of the iMac RAM is faster than the Mac Pro. Okay, the bus speed of the iMac RAM is 1,333 megahertz, whereas the Mac Pro, the entry level, you still got the old RAMs 1,066. Even though you go for the mid-range of the Mac Pro, it's still slower than the top of the line. Even the least expensive iMac. So, in terms of RAMs, the iMac is way better. I mean, the new iMac 2010 compares to the Mac Pro 2010. So what would be the benefits to pay 500 US dollars more? Firstly, for the Mac Pro, you got more slot to throw in the internal hard drive. Okay, you got 4 bay for 4 hard drive. But the iMac comes standards with only 1 hard drive. Okay, so what should we compare? The thing is, if you want to store something, it doesn't have to be internal. Okay, the iMac has the 5 wireless 800 port on the back. Okay, then you can hook your iMac up to an external hard drive, which is available throughout any shopping mall or any PC store. Okay, so the hard drive might not be your most important considerations, right? Okay, let me move on. Okay, apart from hard drive, we finished that. We go to the optical drive. Okay, the iMac is 8 times optical drive, whereas the Pro is 18 times optical drive. But in general, you won't see any substantial change or, well, any improvement between 8 and 18 so much, honestly. Okay, so that's no big deal. Even though you might say, okay, Mac Pros allow to install 2 optical drive, but the iMac allows to hook up to externals optical drive, even Blu-ray drive. Okay, so it's depending on you now. Okay, so okay, we got optical drive, we got hard drive, then we go to the graphic card. For the iMac, you got 1 graphic card pre-installed. Okay, you can't do anything with that. But for the Mac Pro, it has more PCI Express slots that allow to put on more graphic card. But you know what? Let me tell you some funny story. I've been working for a very huge Apple store. It's located in a very huge shopping mall. And then I was surrounded by a number of PC store. And some store, they allow customers to, select each components for their computers and then pick all of them, one by one, and then, kind of like combine them together. It's like custom to order PC. I mean, you can choose the motherboard from NVIDIA, you can choose the enclosure, you can choose the optical drive, you can choose the hard drive from Western or Hitachi, whatever, and mix things together. You can choose your graphic card with the NVIDIA's, ATI, whatever. So when we compare the price of the Mac Pros and any of those PC, if you spend exactly the same money, you will get even the mother of God, the state of the art of PC. Okay, but lots of people came to my stores and then they brought some PC brochures, and then I got a fight with them. I got a fight with those PC store, not my customer. I have to try to persuade them, convince them to buy a Mac. Why should they buy a Mac rather than a PC? So I kept saying the same things every time. It's like pretty much every time in my dreams, like, okay, Mac will not get infected by any kinds of computer viruses, it will not crash, it will not freeze. It's allowed to install Windows on that simultaneously. It comes international warranty, and then it came pre-loaded with everything you like. You don't have to wait for the installation of the OS or something. Kept saying this, it doesn't require drivers for cameras or new printers from HP or Epson, things like that. So have to be pretty much specialist on these issues. Okay. So apart from any of this, okay, hard drive is fine. Well, what about the 5-wire ports? The iMac has only one 5-wire ports on the back, whereas the Mac Pro has up to 4 5-wire 800 port. The thing is, well, you might considering buying the Belkin 5-wire 800 ports hub or something. So the conclusion should be this. If you really ask me, okay, let me be quite frank with you. Go for the iMac, is a great value. You know what? Don't forget one thing. This is the most important thing. The Mac Pro is $500 more expensive than the iMac. And also it doesn't have the screen. That means you have to buy the screen for it. So it might be $1,000 probably for a good screen. Probably $300 US, whatever. For the Mac Pro. Okay, so for the hard drive, we can hook up to external. For RAM, it's pretty much the same, up to 16. That's fine. Graphic card slightly different. For the optical drive, well, who cares about that? Slightly faster. We won't see the difference anyway. For the 5-wire ports on the back, we can hook up to a Belkin hubs or something. So why don't you go for something cheaper and then save $500 US for something else? Okay. And if you want to play around hooking up to numbers of internal graphic card, I would suggest you go for PC. Okay, and I got some funny story to share with you. I've been spoken to 1 million, I think, PC switcher, because I've been working for Mac 8 years, and I had a chance to interact with people, 250 people per day from around the world, times 365 times 7.5, so that would be roughly like 1 million or something. And I met a number of people, like sometimes they were like rich folks, and they're rich, so they buy the Mac Pros. They said, okay, I want everything. I want maximum RAM up to 32 gigs. I want maximum hard drive. You know what? The amount that they spend, that was cost even more than buying new cars. And then 2 years later, that computer became a piece of trash. And no one buy it. You might get 20% back when you want to resell it as a second-hand ones. I just want you to spend wisely, because there are a number of Mac gadgets that they're lying in wait for you. Like, I mean, you can buy the things later on. Okay? Well, that's it. So the conclusion is, if you do things just for hobby use, just in its initial state of photo enhancement, do some movie editing, I think the iMac is truly adequate. I mean, it's more than enough. But if you want to do things for a living, you want to hook up to 6 screens. But of course, I would suggest to go for the 12 cores, the top of the line Mac Pro. But if you compare between the top of the line iMac and the entry level of the Mac Pros, now I think you pretty much got the answer. Thanks for your patience, and I'll do more, okay? I'm going to do the MacBook Air. I'm waiting for it. 11.6 inch, and also I'm waiting for the iPod Touch with the cameras pre-installed. And let's see if it's gonna work this time. I'll be back.